I have Shelly Frank and Melanie Johnson.
So we will have Shelly go first, if that's all right.
Thank you. Welcome, Ms. Frank. Please state your name and proceed.
Thank you. My name is Shelly Frank. I'd like to thank you, Madam Chair, and the members of the committee and Senator Hall for the opportunity to speak today. My son Thor is 12 years old, and he's very complex medically. He has developmental cognitive delays. He has dysautonomia, dysmotility, hypotonia. He has severe anxiety and OCD, hyperkinesis. He's G-tube dependent, and he has a history of a rare seizure disorder called CSWS, which is continuous spike waves and slow wave sleep. Thor also has a history of extensive medication reactions throughout his life. When Thor was critically ill during 2016, he was on a ventilator for over 3 weeks, and he had 2 failed extubations during that time. Following that illness, he was fully deconditioned, and he was taken off of all his seizure medications during that time. During that recovery, he was able to begin taking medical cannabis, and he was able to not go back on seizure medications. When he entered the medical cannabis program, he also required much less adjustments to his current medications because of the baseline that the medical cannabis provides him. It provides just such stability for him. While he entered the medical cannabis program due to his rare seizure disorder, the cannabis has helped him far more than I could have ever imagined. Being on medical cannabis has enabled him to be on less medications, as I mentioned before. It's made the need for those adjustments less, and it's helped him neurologically a great deal as well. Medical cannabis has helped with the dysregulation that Thor experiences due to his dysautonomia, and it helps his extreme anxiety, which stems partially from the dysregulation of his fight or flight hormones stemming from his dysautonomia. Contrary to the misconceptions that cannabis sedates, cannabis actually brings Thor to life. Thor is helped neurologically. He's more alert, he's more peripherally aware, he's more communicative, and he has a far better quality of life. Thor requires his cannabis twice a day. He gets it in the morning before school, but due to the restrictions, he's not able to have it at 2:30 with his other medication that he receives at school. With his dysregulation, transitions are very difficult for Thor, and he's very taxed at the end of his school day. So not being able to have his cannabis with his afternoon meds, it puts him in a compromised place. He loses the benefit of the cannabis that he had in the morning, and so he's not as functional, not able to communicate. His anxiety's higher. He's more dysregulated. So it puts him in a position to transition after school in a really compromised place. He often experiences extreme anxiety, and until we can leave school premises and go and administer his cannabis, which then helps. If he were able to get his cannabis at school, he would transition into the second part of his day so much smoother and on a positive note, rather than having to recover. He already does a partial school day because of his limitations medically, so to have him be taxed at the end of that day rather than ending on a positive experience is hard on him. So the stability that it would provide would be tremendous.